Oftentimes, family, friends, or coworkers come to us with questions about the evil that exists. They ask why God would allow such evil and why he would create it in the first place. Wondering why he would allow us to suffer through the horrible life experiences that confronts everyone. If you're a Christian that hasn't researched the Bible to tackle this extremely valid question, you will find the answers to these questions are elusive. Before we answer, we must first understand what evil is. We can describe evil into two categories: moral and natural evil. Moral evil is the evil brought forth by man against man: theft, murder, genocide, war, just to name a few. Natural evil are the things that seem to be beyond our control but bring hardship or grief upon us. They could include such as hurricanes, tornadoes, forest fires, sickness, disease, and of course death. To begin to understand how these things could exist within a creation from God, we must go to the beginning. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. The Hebrew word used for good is tov. While this translates to good as expected, the purest meaning is suitable to God's intended purpose, which is man. Everything created was to accommodate the existence of man. After creating them, God said, "Be fruitful, multiply and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Though in creating man, God did something different than when he created all else. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. As we research the word image, we find the Hebrew word salim, meaning representative or resembling. When we examine what is different for mankind versus other creatures, but resembles God, we find it is the ability to reason. We process information based upon judgment opposed to instinct. Animals have pre-programmed instinctive responses to various situations. While man has some of that, predominantly we think. We think them through. We reason, different from all other creatures. Now, while God placed man in charge of his entire creation, he did require one rule to be followed. "And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may surely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall surely die." God provided a choice: obey or disobey God. When God provided reason to man, he allowed him free will, the ability to decide and make decisions on his own. Otherwise, God would have just programmed us with instinct. Instead, out of God's love, he made man free. Merriam-Webster defines freedom as the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. God shielded his creation from evil, providing a perfect environment for his creation. There was no death, disease, ill will towards others, cataclysmic weather patterns, etc. Instead, there was harmony. However, God loved man so much, he provided choice to the man's abilities. Therefore, man was allowed to choose to look upon and know evil, though God warned of the consequences if he did so. We all know how the story went. Man sinned by disobeying God and spiritually died by being inflicted with sin, passing along his sinful nature to all of mankind, bringing both moral and natural evil into the world. 18th century philosopher and atheist David Hume used evil as his rationale that God could not exist. His theory is still utilized by atheists today. Hume submitted that if a God is all loving, all knowing, and all powerful, he would not allow man and evil to coexist. Instead, God would just make evil disappear. However, evil is not a creation of God, but a consequence of disobeying God's command and nature. Also, what Hume failed to comprehend is that God did set in motion a correction for the fall of mankind through Adam's sin and provide atonement through Christ. God spoke of Jesus directly to Satan by saying, "He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel," establishing that Jesus would defeat Satan. God promises to restore a perfect existence to man and once again dwell with his creation. Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away. While grieving for a loved one or contemplating what to do next when calamity lands on your doorstep, it's easy to become angry with God. However, evil is a temporary condition that will come to an end. Until it does, we must remember the words of Jesus. "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls."